Hey, hi, hello ladies, I'm back again with another video. Welcome to the channel. And before we get started, I just want to let you know that I am not angry. I think everything that I'm about to talk about in this video is funny and awesome, even though it is grand theft content, okay? Somebody came out, absolutely stole my content, posted it to their own grid without credit or without tag, and just like claimed it to be theirs. And that person that thieved that content was the ex-singer of the Cro-Mags, and the content in question is the one you see behind me right now, my video about the crowd killer, the hero of the Bay or whatever. So today we're gonna get into this crazy content. I don't know why all these official punk rock icons are starting to get all up in my business, okay? And now it's gotten to the point where they're taking from me, they're thieving from me. All right, we gotta talk about it. My name is Dan Frampton, all one word, the O's a zero. You know who it is. I am the internet's most ruthless gatekeeper, and it seems like the entire punk rock universe is starting to get their grubby little hands all over my content. They know who the ruthless gatekeeper is, and they think they could get away with this. They think they could take my content, post it to their grid, and just be like, oh, that's just how it is. Just how it goes, buddy. And to the untrained eye, you might think that this is my video behind me. Like, this is my face, right? And this looks like my content, but who posted it over here? That's not my name. This is John Joseph, formerly of the band Cro-Mags. Okay, now before we get going, you might be saying to yourself, Dan, what you're doing over here is taking someone else's content and commenting over it. And to what I say to that is, that's sort of fair, but what I'm doing is even more fair. What I'm doing is called fair use. I'm transforming the content, I'm commenting on it, and I'm turning it into a completely different thing, okay? And I'm also crediting everybody. I'm crediting who filmed it. I'm crediting who's in the clip. I'm crediting the band. I'm crediting the account that it came from. And on top of all of that, I'm tagging everybody involved to celebrate the scene, to celebrate the creative voices, to celebrate how colorful and boisterous this part of the community is. And most of the accounts that I tag, most of the accounts that I credit in this kind of thing, they reshare it, they re-celebrate it. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's a back and forth kind of thing. I support them, they support me. I like their clips, they like my clips. I share their stuff, they share me. And we all just seem to love hardcore, moshing, and underground culture. But over here, behind me, is the guy that was in the band, the Cro-Mags, and even to this day, he might even still be in a version of the Cro-Mags. I'm not exactly sure where their drama all is, but there was a dispute between Harley Flanagan and this John Joseph guy, whatever. I don't want to get into any of it right now, but all of it here led us to the timeline. And look, let's just play this video. Maybe he did transform it. So let's see. Coward at the edge of the pit. Okay, nope, that seems to be everything that I did in this video. That's my voice. That is my caption. That is the song that I used. He did nothing but add his own little caption over here. Not all heroes wear capes. Clap, clap, clap emoji with the sunglasses. This is blatant. This is absolute theft. Somebody get Jack's Films on the horn. He wouldn't agree with this level of content thievery. Literally just downloading my video and posting it to his grid as if it's his video. Now, the reason why I'm not so mad about any of this is because we do kind of live in this world of like meme culture and reshareability and stuff like that. So I essentially created a meme for him to share. So maybe he doesn't understand that he's stealing content right now. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's just getting wrapped up in meme culture. But when you take a piece of content and transform it and turn it into another thing, then it's a new piece of content completely. And then to override all of the creators that it took to get to this point, just to download the video and then to post it, well, that's where I get a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. If this was generating revenue for me or for him, I would be a little bit more angry. But here's where I step in with a little bit of heat, okay? I'm gonna have to push back a little bit. Now remember, I'm not so mad. It is kind of funny, but him posting my content is actually cannibalizing the views of my content because this is my second most popular video. It's out there getting hundreds of thousands of views. And now that John Joseph swooped in, because his account is bigger than mine, because he has a bigger name than mine, now when this piece of content goes around, it's likely gonna come from his account. And that, my friends, is a little bit annoying. Not gonna lie. Now on the PC, it doesn't tell you how many views this thing is getting, but on the phone, it does tell you how many views it's getting, and it's got 51,000 views right now, time of recording, and that wouldn't be that big of a deal. But here's the view count of his other videos. 9,000, 5,000, 12,000, 4,000, 7,000. I provided him banger content. I gave him his most popular piece of content in God knows how long. And no credit, no tag, no nothing. And this is the guy from the fucking Cro-Mags. Just out here thieving content like he's Black Cat. Oh, speaking of Black Cat, subscribe to my second channel because I'm doing a video on Black Cat to coincide with her release to Marvel Rivals on Friday. What did you think of that segue? So seamless, huh? But at the end of the day, it's not really a news story. I'm not really angry. I'm not seething. There's no steam coming out of my ears or whatever. This thing, as far as I'm concerned, already got all the views it was gonna get on my channel, right? So now people can enjoy in that themselves. They can take a little slice of that pie. If this thing was in the middle of getting momentum and then he kneecapped me, then I'd be a little bit pissed off, for sure. And the reason why this stops at annoyed is because this thing already got way more views than most of my content does. So at that point, when I'm dealing with that level of virality when it comes to my content in comparison to my other videos, yeah, it's fine. Other people can partake in it as well. It already did the thing. It already reached the accounts. It already did what it was gonna do, even though now it's probably kneecapped a little bit, but there's no real hard feelings. I'm not steaming. However, he's not getting away with this scot-free, not by a long shot. You can't steal from Dan Frampton and not make yourself an enemy, okay? So recently, I displayed my rogues gallery in a video, and his former bandmate, Harley Flanagan, has been redeemed. He spent years in the rogues gallery, and I redeemed him. But now, after taking from me blatant theft, John Joseph Jingleheimer Smith over here, all right? Look at him with his big steely blue eyes. Yeah, steely, kind of like the way you stole my content, buddy. Now here you are taking up the most space in the rogues gallery until I have to start adding other people, of course. And I gotta say, it feels good to keep adding to this enemies list. And my enemies aren't just being enemies for no reason. This guy's an enemy because he took from me. This was theft. He didn't credit. There was no tag. There was no permission given whatsoever. He just took my content, downloaded it, and posted it to his own as if it was his content. I love it for a couple different reasons. First, I love it because it actually validates the reach of the videos. And if the purpose of the videos is to resonate with people, well then I'm glad that it resonated with him enough to fucking post it out. And then second, it was the guy from the Cro-Mags that did it. What's not sick about that? But it's still theft. You stole from Dan Frampton and that makes you an enemy. So basically all that really means, John Joseph Jingleheimer Smith, is you're on the enemies list. That means I'm gonna be pulsing in with you when I'm looking for content, when I'm looking for clowns to poke at on the internet. You're just now in the rogues gallery. You did it to yourself. There's no one to blame but yourself. And the second thing that it means is you got yourself a cute little nickname. John Joseph Jingleheimer Smith? Yeah, hell yeah, dude. But I can't just blast you, put you on the enemies list without giving you an olive branch, at least an opportunity to redeem yourself, because it isn't just a carte blanche kind of thing. You know, you can dig your way out of it. People have done so in the past. First, I don't want you to delete the post, okay, John Joseph Jingleheimer Smith? You need to keep it up. Absolutely 100%. Even pin it to the top. But I'm gonna need an apology, and that apology is gonna need to be as vociferous as the offense. You're gonna need to cam up and come onto your main grid account and take accountability for stealing from a smaller creator. Somebody that has many less clout points than yourself. You just stole from them. You need to acknowledge that. You need to sit on that sword and you need to grovel at the doorstep of the ruthless gatekeeper. On top of that, you need to tag me. You need to credit me. You need to tag all the original people in that video. You need to shout out all the bands that have ever played that venue from that clip. And after you've done all of that, after you've met all my demands, then maybe you'll be considered redeemed. But let's start with that public and vociferous apology. I want that camera close up. I want to see those eyes. I need to see how sincere you're being in this apology. You need to understand that you stole content. You're basically taking bread off my table. Well, unfortunately, that's not true. It's not on YouTube. I don't make money on Instagram. If this happened on YouTube, I would be a little bit more angry. Yes, I definitely would, because that would be money out of my pocket. But here on Instagram, after it already did what it was gonna do, this can be just a slap on the wrist with a couple reasonable demands. I'm telling you, man, these punk rock legends, they can't fucking get away from me. They're sniffing around to see what's relevant out there, and they're like, oh my God, the ruthless gatekeeper. And I'm not gonna let them get away with it. They're trying to get caught in the Dan Frampton vortex, and oh, no. No way, no shape, no how. There can't be no two-way road over here, especially when there's theft involved. I work hard for my content, buddy. This isn't just something I can poop out, you know? I gotta wake up, I gotta scratch my eyes for a little bit, I gotta drink some coffee, I gotta scream into a microphone. You think that's easy? Well, it is easy, but it doesn't just happen by itself. Apologize, admit that you're wrong, pin it to the top of your profile, and then maybe we can go from there. John Joseph Jingleheimer Smith. You sicken me. But don't think that's where the demands are gonna stop. I might just put some more demands on here for the sake of doing it. Like, for example, I'm gonna ask my audience right now, what should John Joseph Jingleheimer Smith do to make it up to me for stealing my content? I want your demands listed down below, and I might take 3 of those, and if you don't meet my audience's demands, then there's no way you're gonna get redeemed, because I have respect for my content, I have respect for my audience, and I don't have respect for blatant thievery. Absolutely unbelievable. I just swapped out Cro-Mags members in my rogues gallery over here. Maybe he thought he was doing me a favor or something. Maybe he thinks this was a good thing, so I just gotta shake you. No, this was theft. You stole my content. Say sorry immediately. Go to your room until you understand what you've done, young man. Okay, everybody, I think I've yapped for long enough. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day. Goodbye, see you later, and have a good one.